The memory shimmers, a fractured mirror reflecting a life I barely recognize. I, Victoria, 27 years young, a fashion designer in the glittering, relentless heart of Los Angeles, once lived a life so consumed by the ephemeral, the fleeting trends of the runway, that I was, in essence, a ghost of myself. Now? Well, now I feel more alive than ever, though a part of me has been irrevocably touched by the cold hand of death. The world I inhabited was one of silken fabrics, endless sketches, and the intoxicating rhythm of a sewing machine. My days bled into nights, each moment dedicated to the pursuit of beauty, or rather, what the world dictated as beauty. It was a relentless chase, a constant striving for external validation that left me perpetually empty. My life was a whirlwind of deadlines and fittings, my apartment a testament to my obsession, mood boards plastered with the faces of models, racks overflowing with clothes, the air thick with the scent of dyes and thread. There was no space for anything else. Before this happened, my spirit was a parched desert, my heart a hollow echo chamber. I had convinced myself that my worth was tied to my success in the industry, measured by magazine covers and celebrity endorsements. I was chasing a phantom, a mirage of perfection that always remained just out of reach. I was so blinded by the external that I neglected my inner world. I ignored that quiet voice within me, the one longing for a connection that ran deeper than fabric and form. My understanding of spirituality was akin to a faded postcard, something I knew existed, but never truly experienced. It was a distant concept, a vague notion I filed away under things I'll worry about later, a later that I thought would always be there. I longed for meaning, yes, somewhere deep down, but the incessant noise of the fashion world drowned out any real introspection. I yearned for something more, a peace that wasn't dependent on the approval of others, but I kept trying to find it in the wrong places. The perfect dress, the ideal silhouette, the most desirable trend. I was a slave to the fickle gods of style, believing that true happiness could be found in their fleeting favor. And now, before I tell you about the extraordinary event that turned my world upside down, I ask you to take a moment. I ask you to pause and type into the comments the city and the country from where you are watching this video. I promise to read every single one, each location a reminder that the journey I am about to share with you can touch lives across the globe. The message I received is for all of us. It transcends borders, languages, and the very fabric of our perceived reality. Now, the event. It wasn't a dramatic car crash or a fall from a cliff. Instead, it was a quiet, insidious accident that occurred in the very sanctuary of my creative chaos, my studio. I was working late, as always, experimenting with a new dye, a volatile concoction that was supposed to give fabric an ethereal glow. The air hung heavy with fumes, the silence broken only by the hum of the ventilation fan. I was so lost in my work, so consumed with the process of creation, that I didn't notice the slight leak in one of the chemical containers. It was subtle at first, a faint odor, then a hissing sound that quickly escalated into a torrent. The fumes enveloped me. The chemicals splashed onto my skin, and then darkness. The pain came next, a searing, white-hot agony that consumed my senses. It was as if my skin was on fire, each nerve ending screaming in protest. I remember gasping, trying to find my breath, my vision blurring, and then nothing. My body, they later told me, was found minutes later, unresponsive, my heart stilled, my breathing ceased. For a period of time that doctors pegged somewhere between 4 and 6 minutes, I was clinically dead. And yet, death was not an end. It was a beginning. My next conscious awareness was not of pain, but of an extraordinary lightness. I was floating, or rather, my consciousness was floating above my physical body, observing the scene below as if watching a film. I saw the wreckage of my studio, the overturned containers, the splattered chemicals, my own body sprawled awkwardly on the floor, my skin already marred by the chemical burns. But there was no fear, no panic, just an intense sense of detachment and curiosity. I was not attached to that broken form. It was merely a discarded shell, a costume I had briefly worn. Then came the light. It was not a blinding light, but a luminous, gentle glow that emanated from all around me. It was the most beautiful light I had ever seen, a light that pulsed with warmth and infinite love. It beckoned me, and I felt an irresistible urge to move towards it. As I moved, I began to see beings of light, entities so radiant and powerful that their very presence filled me with awe. They weren't humanoid, not in any way I could define, but were fluid, luminous forms that seemed to shift and morph, yet retained a singular, unified essence. There was no judgment in their eyes, only compassion and unconditional love. I was enveloped in a sensation of pure joy, a peace that surpassed all understanding. Every worry, every anxiety, every obsession that had consumed my life seemed insignificant and meaningless. It was as if a veil had been lifted from my eyes, and I saw the world, and my own life, with a clarity I had never known. I knew things, not through words or rational thought, but through direct knowing. It was a comprehension that permeated my entire being, an understanding that went beyond the limits of human intellect. I knew that I was part of something far greater than myself, something vast and eternal. The light guided me through ethereal landscapes, realms that defied description. I saw colors that didn't exist on Earth, heard symphonies that resonated deep within my soul. I was shown moments from my life, not as a linear progression, but as a tapestry of cause and effect. I saw how my choices, my actions, and my intentions had rippled outwards, affecting not only myself but the lives of others. I saw both the beauty and the pain I had caused, and I understood that every experience, even the difficult ones, had served a purpose. And then there was the message. It was not spoken, not in the way we understand language, but was transmitted directly to my being, a pure stream of knowledge that permeated every cell of my consciousness. It was a message about beauty, about its true nature, about its source. The world, they told me, has become obsessed with the superficial, with the fleeting trends, with the outward appearances. But true beauty, they explained, lies not in what the eye can see, but in what the heart can feel. It resides in the love, the compassion, the kindness that we emanate, and in the unique expression of our souls. They showed me that my obsession with fashion, with external beauty, was not inherently wrong, but it had become twisted, distorted, a poor imitation of the divine essence it was meant to reflect. It was not about creating to please the eye, but creating to express the soul. It was about infusing one's work with intention, with love, with the very spark of creation that resided within. True beauty, they emphasized, is an extension of the soul, a reflection of the divine light that dwells within us all. It is found in the joy of the creative process, in the authentic expression of our unique vision, and in the way we connect with others. The message I received resonated with my every being. I realized that my pursuit of beauty had been misguided. I had been searching for it outside of myself, chasing shadows instead of embracing the light within. I understood that true beauty was not about adhering to trends or satisfying external expectations. It was about expressing my authentic self, about infusing my creations with my heart and my soul. It was about seeing the divine in every aspect of the world around me and in every individual I encountered. It wasn't the finished product that held the power, but the process of creation and the love that was woven into its fabric. The concept of the world was explained in ways I had never imagined. The veil of forgetfulness that hangs between the material and spiritual world was lifted, and I could see that the physical realm is just one facet of existence. Heaven wasn't some distant place, but a state of being, a dimension intertwined with our own, available to us if we only open our hearts and minds to it. The beings of light showed me how the spiritual realm operates, not as some separate entity but as the very foundation of reality. They showed me the threads of connection that linked every soul, the endless web of love that permeated all of creation. The kingdom of God, or the kingdom of heaven, they explained, is not a place but a state of consciousness, a vibration of pure love. It's about how we live here, now, in this earthly experience, reflecting the light and love within, and that impacts the spiritual realm profoundly, creating ripples of healing. This was far more profound than my understanding of religion had ever come close to touching. The experience didn't end there. I was shown my purpose, not as a fashion designer solely, but as a beacon of light, a catalyst for change. I was to use my creative gifts to inspire others, to awaken them to the true beauty that resided within. My creations were to be expressions of love and authenticity, messages of hope and inspiration. My work was to be a reminder that true value lies not in the outward appearance, but in the light that shines within and the ways we serve others. They showed me that everyone has unique gifts to share, that the world needs every unique flame to blaze our individual truths and light the way. Then came the choice. I could stay in that luminous realm of unconditional love, or I could return to my earthly existence armed with the message I had received. I was never pressured, never forced. It was simply a decision, a choice that was presented to me with infinite love and understanding. And I chose to come back, not because I was afraid of the other side, but because I knew that I had work to do, a purpose to fulfill. I was a vessel of change, a carrier of this precious message, and it was my duty to share it with the world. My return was gradual, like waking from a deep slumber. The pain was still there, though it felt distant, muffled, as if it was happening to someone else. I remember the confusion, the disorientation as I struggled to grasp the reality of what had just transpired. The doctors were astounded, bewildered by my recovery, dubbing it a medical anomaly. But I knew it wasn't an anomaly. It was a miracle, a divine intervention that had completely transformed my life. The world looked different now. The colors were brighter, the air felt lighter, and I saw beauty in places I had never noticed before. I saw the divine spark in the faces of strangers, the love that connected every living thing. My obsession with the superficial had faded, replaced by a deep appreciation for the authentic and the meaningful. My studio was no longer a shrine to fleeting trends, but a space of creative expression, a place where I could infuse my work with love and intention. My creative process had changed dramatically. I no longer designed for the sake of fleeting trends. Now, I created with intention, with a desire to express the beauty that I had experienced. My clothes weren't just pieces of fabric stitched together. They were vessels of light, each one infused with a message of love and hope. The designs came from a place of deeper connection. The flow of creative energy felt more aligned with my soul and not just what the external world valued. I've integrated my vision of the spiritual in the physical. I understand that our physical lives are expressions of our spiritual nature. The more we connect to our core essence, our purpose, the more beautiful and fulfilling our experiences become. It's about choosing to act from a place of love, compassion, and understanding, not just on the spiritual level, but in the way we live daily. The challenges I face now are looked at as opportunities for growth, as lessons that have the potential to move me into greater wisdom and understanding. This journey has gifted me with a profound appreciation for the divine nature of all things, the way the fabric of life is interconnected in ways we are only beginning to understand, and that our personal transformation ripples outward, affecting all those around us. It also unveiled the true meaning of beauty as an intrinsic expression of the divine and individual soul. My experiences transcended the boundaries of the ordinary, showing me that the spiritual and physical are deeply interwoven. I learned that heaven is not some distant place, but a state of being, and that we carry the light of the divine within us. I discovered that our purpose is to shine that light into the world, to transform lives, and to uplift all of humanity, one act of love at a time. So I invite you to ask yourself this: what is beauty to you? What is your authentic expression? Where is the unique flame that only you can share? How can you infuse your daily life with love and intention? I challenge you to look beyond the superficial, to delve deep into your soul, and to discover the divine light that resides within. My near-death experience was not an end, but a transformation. It was a divine initiation, a journey that changed my life forever. And the message I received, it was not just for me, it's for all of us. The world is ready for a transformation, a shift in consciousness where we truly value the authentic beauty within and around us. So I urge you, open your heart, your mind, and allow your own light to shine brightly. The world needs it, perhaps more than you can even imagine.